You're listening to Southeast Radio's Business Matters with Karl Fitzpatrick in association with Wexford Insurances. Challenge us at Wexford Insurances 0818 31 30 30.
My first guest this morning is Ray O'Connor, Regional Manager of the Southern Region of IDA Ireland, whose role is to identify suitable locations for multinational companies wishing to locate here in Ireland. Over the past 12 months, there were over 30 site visits by multinational companies to the Southeast region. Were any of them successful, Ray?
Yes, it's kind of difficult to say. I suppose if you look at a site visit, basically these are companies that are coming in, looking at locations in Ireland where they might invest or establish operations. So sometimes it's existing companies that are already here looking to expand, sometimes it's new companies. What we find challenging is some companies will make their mind up straight away, other companies delay the decision. So we have seen some success. If you look, for example, in the case of Nipro establishing in Waterford, it's been a fantastic success story. They're now building out their facility, which is great to see, and it's really positive. They're hoping to create over 200 jobs. We'd like to see some more projects like that happening in Waterford and throughout the southeast.
Just to have a look, I suppose, and drilling down into those 30-odd companies that did have a site visit around the southeast in the last 12 months, where are they coming from? And secondly, what particular sectors are they operating in?
Okay, well, I suppose what we tend to do firstly is in terms of when we talk to companies overseas, we're looking to try and meet their needs. So they will tend to be drawn to locations where there's a cluster of similar types of companies or where they can tap into those certain skills or infrastructure that's going to benefit their operation. In the case of companies that have come visiting in the southeast, they really would be from sectors like life sciences, because there's a really strong life sciences cluster, not just in Waterford but throughout the entire southeast region. In every single county there's really strong life sciences companies, and companies are really see that as a really positive thing because they can hopefully tap into some of that experienced, skilled workforce. It demonstrates confidence to them that if it's good enough for other companies, they can do it as well. So life science is one really strong sector that we've seen in terms of companies coming in, and both existing companies that are here expanding, but also new companies. Those new companies will be from North America, but also we've seen some examples of companies from growth markets, and when I say growth markets, that will be locations like Asia that are trying to tap into the European market. So life science is one sector. We've also seen other sectors in terms of other types of companies like emerging companies. These would tend to be smaller companies but fast growing. They're looking for an operation where they might be US companies, for example, trying to grow their presence in Europe and have one location where they can manage all their activities out of one particular site. So we're seeing some emerging companies coming in, and we've also seen some services type companies. But the really strong cluster that even if you look at the region now is life sciences.
We've seen over the last number of weeks that, especially in the US Senate, the Irish corporation tax being looked at very, very closely. Are you getting any feedback from IDA clients that there's a level of concern in the camp in relation to that?
No, I wouldn't necessarily from our clients. What I would say is I think when there's these question marks raised, Ireland is a very transparent corporation tax policy. It's 12.5% on trading profits, so it's a very transparent process. We have taxation agreements with many countries around the world. What's really the challenge is when you have different companies or different countries having different tax rates, it tends to get blended together, and I think Ireland has been unfairly singled out in terms of being accused of having lower taxation than it has. So I think the reputational challenge there, we're obviously working with our client base on that, but also nationally we've been working on that. But it also creates, I suppose, in another sense, when you hear people talking about Ireland and talking about the top global companies that are in Ireland, that has to be good publicity in one sense, because there's many companies out there that have never heard of Ireland or never heard of Ireland's corporation tax or never heard of the fact that there's over 1,000 companies here in Ireland. So it could be a positive as well.
Absolutely. Now, we've been successful, as you say, in attracting some of the best-known brands in the world, such as Google and Facebook and others like them. Why have they come to Ireland?
Well, I think if you look at any company, a company is really in business to maximise its profits for its shareholders. So they're in business to make money, and they will look at locations globally that can help them maximise their profits. So one way they can maximise their profits is look at locations where they can manufacture products maybe less expensive or at lower cost. But also, if you can tap into a skilled workforce, they're the people that will actually drive your business. So Ireland has been really successful in terms of attracting these companies because of the fact that we have a number of factors. One, we have a very transparent corporation tax and favourable taxation, but we have fantastic talent here. We have a great track record. and we have the technology to support companies. So really, skilled workforce is one of probably the single most important thing that I see when we're talking to companies. Can I get the skilled workforce here in Ireland? If you can demonstrate that to companies, that's really impressed them. That's what probably is the biggest factor.
IDA's role and remit is to attract companies into Ireland, not specifically into the southeast or into Wexford. I know it's a difficult job for the IDA to dictate to a particular company where to locate. But let's say, for example, Wexford. What could Wexford Inc. be doing more of to make it more susceptible to attracting IDA-type companies?
Well, firstly, I'd say yes, we do have a remit and a role in terms of bringing investment to the southeast and even to Wexford. We're a national agency and we have a national remit. Our focus is trying to, firstly, get companies to locate in Ireland. If we can do that, we're successful. But really, we have a regional development mandate as well, and we have to try and encourage investment where we can. So every client company and new company that we engage with, we would try to look at locations and even regional locations where a company would be successful but would also feel comfortable, because ultimately we would try to encourage companies to go to locations. They ultimately will dictate where they want to go, and they will tell us straight out saying, no, I'm not interested in going to this location or that location, I want to go here, there, I'll have a look at that other location. But they quite quickly would tell us, sorry, I don't want to go there. So they've done a lot of their homework. So it's really important in terms of locations. If they want to benefit from FDI, it really has to be a location that has the critical mass or can meet the needs of the company. So the company really has set criteria. Different industries and different projects have different needs. So a life sciences company could be looking for a large site with a lot of utilities, looking to go to a location where there's similar types of companies. It adds a bit of confidence. Whereas a company looking to do services or software development wants to say, well, can I get software developers in this location? Can I get a multilingual workforce? So typically it's trying to look at the needs of companies. So it might be difficult to get a large company like a Google to locate in Wexford, but it can be done on a smaller scale. And we've several examples of companies that start small, maybe 30, 40, 50 people over a 2 or 3 year period that can grow into several hundred people over a number of years.
Talk to me about Connect Ireland. What do they do?
Connect Ireland is an initiative that was developed and tendered for by IDA Ireland. And basically what it's trying to do is tap into the diaspora around the world and try to connect in with companies where we don't have a relationship with. So, for example, you might have a brother or sister working in a company in Illinois or in Shanghai, and that company might be considering some international operations, and that company may have no relationship with IDA, has never considered Ireland, but your brother or sister working in that company could be in a position to maybe influence the decision and say, well, why not consider Ireland? So the whole idea of Connect Ireland is trying to connect people with companies that can actually bring jobs to Ireland.
Right, based on that, I suppose, how many of these decisions to locate a company, an FDI company, from your experience, is down to where somebody is from or a connection with a particular county?
It's a mixture. In some cases, it's 100% the reason why companies will locate. I know of companies in my head that I can't mention, but I know of individuals, because of where they're from, they have brought that investment to that location. They've convinced their senior management and even the head of the company that they can actually deliver that project and make it successful from a particular location that is not a Dublin or a Cork or a large urban area. So yes, it can be done. In other cases, there will be other companies that have no connection with Ireland. They are going through a rigorous assessment, and they will sometimes use consultants to look at the demographics of an area, look at the international airports, look at the universities and the colleges, look at the population, who else is there, will I be successful in that location? Then they're more clinical in that approach. So there's a whole range of different models can work.
Based on that, just looking inland at Wexford, what particular sector do you think Wexford is best placed to attract from a foreign investment perspective?
It could be anything. I mean, I think it's got a number of life sciences companies. It's quite close to Dublin in terms of it's got good accessibility, so there's no reason why you couldn't have service type operations there. For example, there's international financial service operations there. So it could be any sector. It could be manufacturing, a very huge multi-million euro investment, or it could be a small service project that starts small but can grow over time.
Has the IDA any sites that are ready to go in Wexford today?
Yes, we have. We have a business technology park in Wexford. There's a whole range of different office property solutions that we would keep a register of. We've also been, over the last number of weeks, been trying to identify additional manufacturing facilities. And we've just visited one there. I visited one there about 2 or 3 weeks ago that would be very suited for a potential project. The problem we have is we find it difficult. When you look at different industry sectors, say, take life sciences or even medical technologies, they want a clean manufacturing building that they could manufacture their product from. If you look around the southeast, there's factories all over the place. The problem is these buildings may not be suitable, or they might need renovations to make it work. The more ready-to-go solution you can put in front of a client, the more chance you have of winning that investment, because you can be damn sure there are locations around the rest of the country where the client's requirements can be met.
I know that the business organisations in Wexford are putting lots of pressure on the two ministers, Minister Keogh and Minister Howland, to attract foreign direct investment into Ireland. Are you feeling that yourself?
No, well, yes. Look, we every day in our job we're trying to win investment for regional locations. It's challenging, and I suppose the most difficult part is when you see companies downsizing, because that's taken a lot of effort on somebody's part to try and win that investment originally. So we would love to see investment, but the problem is we're stuck in the dilemma between trying to encourage companies to locate in regional locations versus looking at their needs. If we push companies into locations where they don't want to be, or we push a company into a location that's inappropriate for the type of project they're trying to build out, it's going to look bad on us. It's going to really look bad in the company because they won't be successful, and it's going to look bad for Ireland. So we try to choose carefully locations. So it's a real dilemma with us. We're trying to push the regional locations, and we tend to get pushback from the client saying we want to be in certain locations. So
I know IDA comes in for a lot of criticism because people look at this approach and they think it's as simple as, if a company executive arrives in Ireland, that they can be put into a car and driven down to Wexford or Tipperary, shown a site, and it's a turnkey operation. But it's not that simple.
No, unfortunately not. If it was that simple, it'd be great. We would be taking companies off the shelf and just we'd go from one county into the next county on a roadshow. It doesn't work like that. If you think about it yourself, if you were in charge of a company in the US and you're looking at establishing an operation in Europe, you're really going to say, well, if it's a pharmaceutical company and you're looking for a manufacturing operation, what do you need? You need a location where it's got a good track record, where you've got a ready-to-go property solution, you've got all the utilities and services there to facilitate your operation, plus you've got skills. Now, there's locations in Wexford that can easily do that, but trying to convince the guy to do that is the challenge. So it's difficult, but we will continue to try and get investment there.
You're listening to Southeast Radio's Business Matters with Karl Fitzpatrick in association with Wexford Insurances. Think Wexford Insurances for your business insurance.